Hi there, business analysts. Today I want to share with you 3 different prompts that you can use to really expedite and increase your results tenfold as a BA at work. So I'm going to share with you 3 specific prompts that you can apply, one for requirements elicitation, one for process analysis, and then the third one is a secret. I'll share that with you at the end. It's the best one. But let's jump straight into the first strategy that you can use when you are trying to come up with that base set of requirements in a really effective way. It will save you heaps of time. It is done in a generic way, so you are not sharing any special data in places that you shouldn't be. It's just a really good prompt that you can apply to quite a lot of contexts. So let me share it with you here. I've actually pre-prepared it. So let's have a quick look at this prompt. You are a business analyst for a healthcare system upgrade. Act as 3 distinct stakeholders, a doctor, a patient, and an IT manager. Provide 5 unique requirements per stakeholder, formatted as user stories, ensuring data privacy and ethical use of patient information. Flag any potential biases in the requirements. So this is a great starting prompt that you can use and obviously change, and you can ask for more requirements per stakeholder and so forth. But it's a great way to start. So let's see what happens. So ChatGPT 4.0 is what I'm using in this case, but you can also use Claude, you can use Copilot even, you can use Grok 3, any of the LLMs. So here, great, we've got 5 requirements, all written out of the perspective of a doctor for this particular scenario, but it's flagging, not only is it giving you the specific requirements as a user story, but it's also telling you a bit about support continuity of care, but then it gives you a bias flag. So here it's just basically flagging to you, maybe you should have a look at this requirement and see if there's something more that you need to analyze. And that's actually a really, really good point for me to tell you that whilst we are using all of these tools to do a lot of the heavy lifting up front, it is really just helping us to be better business analysts, because now we can really go and analyze and review the results that we're getting from tools such as ChatGPT and so on. So it's not like it's doing all the work that we just copy paste. It is giving us a base set of very relevant, accurate data that we can then validate and drill deeper into. And remember, once you've got this base set of requirements that's been provided, you can also use ChatGPT for further analysis, but it's a great idea to go and validate with your stakeholders and have a, dare I say, a more intelligent conversation, because you will have more knowledge yourself and you'll be able to delve deeper much faster. So this is just one example, and you absolutely, as a business analyst, you absolutely have to use these tools, otherwise you'll fall behind. Okay, now let's have a look at the next strategy around process analysis. Okay, so let's now look at process analysis. Again, in a similar way, you use the data in an ethical way and you make sure that you don't share any specific company data on these platforms. But there's so much that you can do in a generic, general way to get you started doing analysis in different topic areas. So in this example, what we are doing is we are going to be looking at an e-commerce order fulfillment process and identify potential inefficiencies in particular places, as well as some ethical risks around customer data. So what's this going to do? It's going to first of all tell you a bit about the process. So it will outline the specific steps at a high level. Specifically, we are saying 7 steps. However, it's also going to highlight what would be common areas where there might be inefficiencies. Doesn't mean to say that it will be the case in the one that you have to analyze, but it gives you a lot of guidelines and a lot of places to start your analysis from. So the same with ethical risks around data handling and how data is being handled in an e-commerce process. Typically, once again, this is generic information, but it guides your analysis. It pinpoints what problem areas could be. It is hugely helpful for a BA to get a head start. So let's quickly see what it will do. So in this case, it is giving us in a table format, just like what we asked it to do. It's breaking down the 7 steps beautifully. It's giving us each of the process steps, what the inputs are, what the outputs are. And then if we were able to scroll, which we can't because of the screen setup that I've got here, you will also be able to see the flagged inefficiencies and potential risk areas. So this is once again just a quick example. Here we go. There are inefficiencies that's been listed, as well as some ethical risks and mitigation strategies. So use this as a guideline. It's a starting point. It's not necessarily exactly the way that it will be in the organization that you're helping or the client that you're helping, but it gives us a massive head start and it saves a lot of time, and your output is generated in no time. So I hope that one was good. Now let's jump into that secret strategy that can make a huge difference to your business analysis work output. Now let's jump into this third secret strategy. So the reason I'm calling it a secret strategy is because it's all about making our documentation job so much faster. You know, I've interviewed so many business analysts and they all say they really don't like all the documentation that goes with our role as BAs. So this is your secret weapon to make that process so much faster and make it look really professional. So let's have a look at the prompt that I'm suggesting for this one. So here you are a business analyst documenting a supply chain optimization project. Draft a 500-word requirement specification for a non-technical audience covering scope, objectives, and 5 key requirements. Use plain language, avoid jargon, and include a section on appropriate data sourcing to ensure transparency and ethical reporting. And then suggest 3 clarity improvements for the draft. The result, and then what you do is you attach a template that you want to show ChatGPT or Grok in terms of what template they should be using when they provide the output to you. So you attach that file. When you do that though, make sure that it's got no company information, no proprietary information on it. It must be a generic white labeled template. And then use that as and the rest of the output here will say to it, make it a polished document with ethical data guidelines and readability enhancements. So this is the secret one because it will help you generate the document in exactly the format that you like. And here where it says 5 requirements, that of course you can make that more. You can also ask it to break it down into categories or business processes or whatever you believe will make sense for your context. But the secret is attach an example of exactly what you want as the output, and it's quite amazing and almost magical how much of a base set of work is done within an instant. You then take that document and you go and edit it, validate it, work with your stakeholders, refine it, and you save hours and hours and hours, and you deliver exceptional quality work. So I hope these 3 strategies has helped you with some more ideas of how you can optimize your work, 10x your output, and just have fun being a business analyst that now has a lot of time to do true analysis work. You could also, if you like, share a bit of your experience in the comments. If you want to subscribe, that would be amazing. But I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.